Welcome to the KU Nature Center. My name's Katie, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about how we can prepare for hiking outdoors in the winter and some of the trails and hikes at the KU Nature Center that you can take that I would recommend for families and beginner hikers. Whenever I go hiking, I make sure to have my pack with me. I include my first aid kit, a notepad and pencil, flashlight, compass, a map, water bottle, and also a dog bowl and dog because I usually hike with them. In order to prepare for the weather, I put out a couple examples of attire. I usually start with a fleece and a pair of leggings in the winter. Leggings are a personal preference of mine. Some people love them, some people hate them, but really anything that wicks away the moisture is going to do a good job for you. The fleece is important to me because it stays warm when it gets. That's why I always opt for a fleece layer. If it's a little bit colder out, I'll add a layer on top of my leggings of these windproof hiking pants, and then I'll add a wind and waterproof top as well. Once again, things that keep the water away from your body are always going to be preferable for winter hiking. If I'm planning on being outside for a long period of time, or if the conditions are very unfavorable, I'll usually use a fleece-lined legging instead. These here are really thick, and this just provides an extra layer of warmth. The puffy jacket is also one of my favorites because it really traps in that warm air. And I'll actually always pack this puffy jacket with me, even if it's not that cold out, just in case it's colder than I expected or I stay out longer than I expected. So this is probably going to be my most common hiking attire in the winter because it keeps me warm for long periods of time. And lastly, if it's really cold, I'll wear snow pants and my ski jacket. This is, if I'm spending all day outside or if I'm going to be building snow forts or snowmen where I'm going to be in the snow, damp a lot, I'll wear these layers. Typically underneath this, I'll still wear the fleece and I'll still wear the fleece-lined leggings for that extra warmth. But this is going to be my most extreme attire. And lastly here, I've just got my footwear. Oftentimes here in upstate New York, I'll end up just using a regular waterproof hiking boot that you can see here on the right. Sometimes I opt for my slightly warmer winter boot. And then if it's really snowy, I do have snowshoes, but I can't say I use them too frequently out here. And I will say, all of these are just recommendations. You're going to want to test out, what works for you. Make sure you're testing out close to home. It never hurts to bring extra layers as long as you have a pack to carry them in. Try different things out, see what works for you. This is just what works for me here in upstate New York. With all this, I'm now prepared to go for a hike. Alright, so I'm here in front of the lodge and I'm ready to hike. I've got my 2 layers on. It's not too cold today, so I've got my windbreaker and my fleece. And then I've also got just leggings on because it's not super cold. And my hiking boots. Wool socks, of course. You'll also notice that I have my mask. If you're not able to social distance, please make sure you're wearing your mask while you're here and on any hike. And I've also got my backpack with my water bottle and all so that I'm prepared for anything on the hike. And now it's time to get started. So to start hiking, I'm going to go to the left of the lodge and around back through the gate to head up back towards the animals and then out towards the Black Diamond Trail connector. And this is going to bring us out by Houghton Road. So this is the first hike that we're going to take today. This hike is great for families with younger kids or individuals who are looking for something a little flatter with not a lot of incline. Just behind the building here, you're going to want to stop and say hello to some of our animal ambassadors. So here we have Daisy in the red color, and we have Cinder with black and silver fur. You can learn more about these two on our signage, but they are both red foxes, both vixens, so gals. Daisy is a very red blonde coloration, closer to what you would see in the wild. Cinder is a silver morph fox, so she's got a pretty rare coat color, but they are both red foxes. Gray foxes are a different species, and you can check out more information on their signs when you come visit them. Here you can hear Denison Falls in the background. For reference, there's the treehouse. We're gonna walk on over. So this is Denison Falls, and you can see that it's flowing, not a whole lot, but it does have some water flow. In the summer, this can dry up if there's not a lot of rain, and in the spring, usually with the amount of snow melt and rain, we do see a very large flow of water. This time of year, it's about average. So back at our intersection here, you can see this is where I came from with the gardens and the nature center way back there. The treehouse and Denison Falls over there. Another kiosk for wayfinding. And the main trail that I'm going to want to take is this gravel trail, and this is going to take me straight through our upper fields. You can also do a figure 8 around the fields, and so there's a small trailhead over there. However, we're just today going to walk straight through. So as we're hiking, I thought I'd stop because this is one of the many things that I like to look for. And these are deer trails. So you can see this small path has been cut straight through some of our fields. It's not the main trail. It's pretty clear that it's not the one that we want hikers to take, but it's still definitely a trail. These are called deer trails, but many other animals will use them as well. And they're just a really great way for animals to get around without having to cut through the brush every time. And this is one of the signs of wildlife that I really like to encourage youth, or really anyone, to look for when we're on our hikes. Keeps people active and engaged. Another fun thing that I like to do when I'm out here is look for nests. So you can see kind of straight through there, up in these medium-sized shrubs, we've got a really nice nest that we probably wouldn't have been able to see in the summer, but since it's winter and there aren't any leaves on these shrubs, you can see straight through and see that there's an empty nest. While we're hiking here, once again, there's another deer trail. It goes right across the path. And as we get closer up to the middle of the fields, you can see way in the distance that big tree that's just one trunk straight up. That's a dead tree, also called a snag. And these trees are really awesome because they provide a lot of wildlife benefits. Some of that includes things like food for woodpeckers. Insects love dead trees, and so woodpeckers can go ahead and eat everything, all the bugs that they're finding in there. And they can also provide homes. So because the woodpeckers are eating at them, they're going to be leaving cavities as well. So cavity nesters can go ahead and use that dead tree as a home. So we just came from this way, and you can see that big snag standing up there as reference. We've got this nice little pond that the snag is on the edge of, and we do get some ducks and some geese that hang out in here during the warmer months. Nice little cattails. Bluebird box in the foreground, and we're going to be walking this way. You can see this is another intersection of that figure 8. So We could either go to the left for a big loop, we could go forward to go straight back towards the parking lots that are back there, or we can continue to follow this gravel trail, which is going to bring us to the Black Diamond Connector, which is what I'm going to do here today. So here I've made it to the top of this trail, this little gravel path, and you can see that you can kind of loop around and go past the beehives and to our parking lot over there, which will hook up with the other two trails that make the figure eight. These hives are of the Finger Lakes Beekeeping Club. They live here on site and they help pollinate our fields. If you look further to the right here, you'll see a small upper parking lot and road access. So this trail that we've made, this nice gravel trail that I'm standing on, connects up here because that's where you can hop onto the Black Diamond Trail. This is our little kiosk here, so if you get up here and you need a reference on a map, or if you're looking to make a donation, or if you're looking to get a little more information on the bees, you can find all of that on our kiosk. The next trails that we're going to visit are located to the right of the parking lot. So if you are standing in the parking lot here, there's a small trailhead right here that we're going to go to. So here I'm in front of the other trailhead I was talking about. So there's the driveway, there's the front of the lodge, and right here is our staircase. If you don't want to take the stairs, you can go kitty corner here along the tree line, and there's a ramp that'll go down into the woods. So all of our trails, you're going to want to cross this bridge. You can see we've got our nice stream running through here. Just downstream of Denison Falls is where we're currently at. Then we have our blue trail, which is marked with those blue markers. And then our white trail. And if you actually took this white trail, there's going to be an orange trail that hooks up with it as well. And these are our most popular trails, the blue to white. Because it's a nice short loop that a lot of folks really enjoy, especially if you're coming with kids. This is a really nice, easy loop for everyone to do. If you're looking for a little bit longer of a hike, you can check out the orange trail or our red trail, which is the wilderness loop. That one's definitely a lot longer and better for people who are really looking to get a decent hike in. Thank you everyone for joining me today on our hike, and I hope to see you all out there on the trails.